Welcome to a new vlog of me, new week, new topic, and I want to read suspense books this week. We have a few different genre mixes here with the books that I want to read. The first book is Inside by Antonia Wesseling. It is a suspense thriller mixed with a new adult romance. This is only available in German, and I had this on my TBR since 2024. So it is time to read it now. It is about Valerie Sophie. She is a social media influencer, so a content creator. She is very popular here in Germany in this book, not in reality. She doesn't exist in reality. And then she starts to get mysterious messages, mysterious packages, and there is a whole stalker situation going on, which freaks her out, of course, especially because nobody takes her serious. The police just thinks, yeah, just feel admired. This is normal in your job. And the other police women said to her that she practically invites this behavior with her posts and pictures, which is an absolute no go. I was so raging reading this book, which is a good thing here because that is how reality looks for a lot of women. They are not taken seriously when they are being stalked. And even Valerie's manager doesn't take her seriously. He doesn't do a very good job, I think. And it is no surprise that Valerie hates him. So I don't really know why she's not searching for a new manager, but that is another topic. She has also a lot of pressure on herself, on social media, of her fans, of her new brand that she wants to place on the market with hygiene products. And I get that. I totally get the pressure she's under. I think that really came through perfectly here, and also the tension of the whole stalking situation. I feel the tension throughout the whole book. I'm not trusting anyone here, even Paul, the policeman that takes her serious and that starts to investigate in this case, because over time they also start to get closer to each other. There are some sparks, and I'm just feared that he is the stalker, that everyone here is the stalker. So I'm having a great and tense time reading this book. I am already halfway through it. I don't know if you can. Yes, you can see it. And I can't wait to continue reading or more listening because I also have the audiobook and I'm using that to get in some reading time when I'm doing my chores and things like that. So I'm positively surprised by this book and can't wait to continue reading, which I will do today. Maybe even the rest of the book. We will see. We have a Sunday right now, so a lot of time to read. But before I do that, let me tell you shortly about the other books that I want to read in this vlog. I already fully updated you on Inside, which wasn't planned. But here we go. I also want to read People Pleaser by Catriona Stewart. This is a murder mystery meets literary fiction. So that would be a cool story. And the last book we have here is a mix of both of the other two books that I've had here. It is The Spotlight by Nicola Martin. I got a German review copy here, but the English version looks the same as this one. And it is murder mystery and thriller because we have technically two cases here. One that happened 5 years ago. We have a girl band there, three members, and one of the members is being stalked and then got murdered. Nobody ever found out who did it, but our main character, Kirby, also one of the band members, was one of the suspects. And now, 5 years later, the third member, Alice, is a super famous pop star. She made it, and she asked now Kirby to be the drummer for her tour. So they want to reunite, they want to restart their friendship, but at the same time, Alice is getting stalked. There are letters, there are shredded clothes, and pictures of Alice. And of course, the first suspect is Kirby again, because she was there back then. She is now close to Alice, and we are living this whole story through Kirby's eyes. We have her POV as a main character, and we can see how this all affects her, how she tries to help Alice, how she starts to investigate because she sees the similarities between what happened 5 years ago and now, but nobody wants to believe her. Officially, it was an accident. What happened to Heather, I think, was her name, that she drowned in this lake, but Kirby can't believe that. I'm already also halfway through the spotlight, and I really can't wait to read the second half of the book. I just stopped reading to update you here because I really want to know more. We already had someone get arrested close to the halfway point of the story, and everybody is okay with that. The stalking situation is solved, but I don't believe that. We have half a book still in front of us, and there is a lot going on. As always, I suspect anyone or more. I have three persons in mind who could be the stalker. One of them got arrested now, which made me think he wasn't it. And the other person, Alice's husband, would be too obvious in my opinion. So that would leave one of my suspects. I won't tell you here because nothing is solved halfway through the story. My third suspect is B, the assistant of Alice, because she was a massive fan back then of this girl band Jitterboo. She's a massive fan of Alice, and how she got the job is super suspicious. So I don't think she's as innocent as everybody thinks. But I could be totally wrong here. It could be someone else. As I said, there are a lot of persons that are suspicious that were around back then and are now. So I can't wait to continue this story either, which means I will go back reading now and I will update you after I finished one of these books, after I'm halfway through People Pleaser. I don't know, this vlog will be a little bit chaotic, but that's okay. I hope you don't mind, and we will see each other in the next clip. Today I have two updates for you. The first one is for People Pleaser. I'm currently 160 pages into the book, and honestly, I was ready to DNF the book now. I wasn't really invested in the story. There wasn't much happening with the whole murder mystery plot. Because, yes, Maggie was murdered a few months ago. The police declared it already as a cold case because they have no lead at all. So, nothing to investigate. But one of our main characters here is Emma, Maggie's sister. She is super depressed, just lies in bed every day, barely eating. And the only thing she is doing is scrolling through the internet, trying to find anything related to Maggie and her murder case because she wants to find out who did it, which I can completely understand. But I don't think it is very helpful when you lie in bed the whole day and just don't really investigate, because 160 pages in means I'm only at the halfway point, and Emma and her friends doesn't even have a suspect. So that annoyed me, and it annoyed me also that Jill, Emma's roommate, has a POV, but I don't know why at this point. She is there for Emma, yes, and she's the personal assistant of our third POV, Amanda, but she doesn't really add anything to the story. So at this point, was her POV really necessary? I mean, it could be important in the rest of the book, but so far, not really. And Amanda, I don't really know why she is part of the story. She is the drama queen. She is the ex drug addict. She is clean now. And she invented the idea for Love Shack, the dating show Maggie took part in. But nobody knows she had the idea for the show, that she wrote for it. And she has no personal relation to Maggie. But for some reason, she is super scared that someone could find out that she invented Love Shack. And that is why she starts to investigate together with Jill and Emma in this whole murder case. So it is a super weird constellation, and we have a lot of background infos, especially on Amanda, which is strange because, again, she doesn't have any personal relationship with Maggie. So, why do we go into depth with her? So, I think the most interesting part here is the part with the flashbacks. So, when we got retold everything that happened in the Love Shack dating show, we have one flashback for each episode. I don't know how many there are, but I had 3 or 4 flashbacks right now, and these are written in Maggie's POV. So it is also a reality check on reality TV. I liked that really much, but that's it. As I said, I'm not really invested in it. So I was ready to tell you now that I DNF the book because it is only okay to me. It is not bad, don't get me wrong, but it isn't what I expected. But then I spoiled myself and I looked up who did it in the end. And now I want to know why. So I will continue the book even if I was ready to DNF. Because at this point I can't really see why. I have a faint idea why he could have done it, but I want to know more now that I know who did it. So I will continue. You will get a second update on this. And you will get now a second update on Inside by Antonia Wesseling, because I finished that book the day before yesterday and I need to talk about it. And I need to talk about it with spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I'm sorry. I can't talk about the second half without spoilers. In this case, please scroll to the next section of this video. So 3, 2, 1. We are in spoiler section now, and I'm raging about this book. I am so angry about the ending, and I hate it. It was exactly what I didn't want to happen. As I said in my first update, I was suspicious of everyone, even the policeman that starts to investigate our case, and that is our romantic partner in this book. And I really, really begged that he wasn't the one who stalked her. And of course, he was it in the end. And I would be annoyed by the fact, but not angry when there would have been consequences for him. But no, he wasn't the one who took any consequences. There were two other people. The first one was a real stalker of our main character. He did the first half of the stalking we had in the book because he was annoyed by the whole social media influencer bubble and he wanted to ruin that for her because he had problems with his wife, and his wife followed her on social media, bought a lot of the products she advertised for, and that annoyed the fuck out of him. And I was okay with that because he got the consequences for it. He got arrested, but then we got Valerie's ex-boyfriend involved, and he got our new suspect that stalked her because the first stalker admit some of the crimes but also said, yeah, these things, that wasn't me, that must be someone else. And Paul said he found something that made her ex-boyfriend guilty. So of course Valerie believed him. I can get that. But then the ex-boyfriend confronted Valerie and we had an accident where he fell down the stairs and that was it. He was dead. So accidental killing involved with absolutely no consequences. And then we found out on the last pages that it wasn't even him. It was Paul, our policeman, that stalked Valerie because he was in love with her his whole life. And I don't really know why he did it now. I can understand that he took the chance after she already got stalked and got into that, so he was the one who could play the hero and rescue her. But why didn't he take any chances before that to get together with her? And what pissed the fuck out of me was the fact that Valerie knows. She knows that Paul was a stalker and she's still in a relationship with him. So why? Why are you together with your stalker if you know what he did to you? How can you be happy with him? I can't understand that. It pissed me off that this was our ending. Both of them in a relationship, about to move in together and live the happy ever after. So I will definitely unhaul this book at the end of the month. It was exactly what I wasn't looking for with this end. So I hope the other two books I'm reading in this vlog will turn out better than this. We will see, and I will continue with them now. So we will see each other again with the next update. Okay, two things I need to add to my final review of Inside. The first thing is that I didn't like the spicy scenes. They were super weird, made me really feel uncomfortable reading them because they didn't fit the vibe of the rest of the story and the relationship of the characters when they don't have sex. So that was a no for me. And the second thing is that it is a questionable mental health representation because a month before all of that happened, Valerie confronted a therapist, and this therapist diagnosed her mentally unstable. And for some reason, the police found that out. And after that point, it is over. They don't believe her. They all think it is just because she is mentally unstable because they don't find any proof that, for example, somebody called her in the middle of the night or that somebody broke into her apartment. And I think making the statement here that all of this happened because she is mentally unstable is questionable. So that was it for me to Inside. I am done now with the book. And we can speak about the other two books that I finished now, The Spotlight and People Pleaser. But let's start with The Spotlight because I finished that first. And I need to warn you again, I'm so sorry. I need to give you spoilers. I need to talk about the end to explain my opinion about the book. So, if you don't want to know about the end, skip to the next part. Hopefully, I will don't spoil the end of People Pleaser. So, back to the spotlight. I had the same problems with the end than with Inside. The perpetrator doesn't get official justice, and I hate that. I really, really liked the plot twist here that our victim is the perpetrator, that she staged everything and also killed her former band member because I had a feeling at some point, but I didn't see it coming long term. We also had questionable mental health representation here because not only our perpetrator is mentally unstable and insane, also her assistant, a former big fan of the band and of Silver itself, is insane. I can't word it otherwise because to start this job for Silva, she killed her own parents. And I don't know if we need that representation for mental health persons because not every person who deals with mental health issues is insane and is a psychopath. So I'm not the biggest fan of that, but especially for Silva, it fitted the story perfectly, and I didn't mind it there. If it was necessary for B, for her assistant, I don't know. But the thing that fucked me up the most is that Kirby, our main character, almost got murdered, but then she made a deal with Silver to work together with her, and they go on tour together, and everything is fine until Kirby kills Silver. So, our victim becomes the killer, and I don't like that ending. Why can't we do it the official and legal way to bring them justice? I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that, but I'm glad I read the book. But also at this point, I questioned if these suspense books are for me because both books had similarities that I didn't like at all. So, would it be different for my third book, for People Pleaser? That was the question I asked myself, and I finished the book now. Remember, it was the book I wanted to DNF, and surprise, it was the book with the ending I liked the most. Yes, I spoiled myself after 160 pages. I knew who the killer was, and that was the point that got me intrigued because I wanted to know why, and I now know why. So I'm happy with that result. I think the ending made sense, and in this book, we had the official legal way to bring them justice. The killer got arrested and was sent to prison. So that was the ending I wanted to read. But all in all, People Pleaser wasn't that much about a suspense plot. So there wasn't a thread in the whole story until our main character figured out who did it. Then we got action and a life thread. So the tension was high in the end, but before that, it was more about finding out who Maggie really was. She had so much secrets that even her sister Emma didn't really recognize the person she found out about. And it let her question the whole friendship with her sister. So I can understand why. As I said, there were so many secrets. Maggie lived a completely different life than everybody else saw in her. And with that, I not only mean the public, because she was a big influencer, but I also mean her friends and family. So I can understand that, but I am really, really glad that Emma could figure everything out, and I hope it brings her a little bit of peace to know what her sister went through. And I am also very, very glad that one other person was arrested and got sent to prison because of what this person did in this book. I won't say anything more than that because of this one time I don't want to spoil what's happening. But as I said, in the end, it was the ending I enjoyed the most out of the three books I've read for this blog. But all in all, none of these books were a highlight to me. I had an okay time with all of them. So I will probably unhaul the two physical books at the end of the month. So People Pleaser and Inside. And I don't know if I will read any further books in this genre mix in the near future. It is not that I lost hope or interest because I still like the combination of a romance or literary fiction plot and a suspense plot. But I don't think I have any more of these books on my TBR. So that's it for now. Please tell me in the comments if you have read any of these books, if you have any recommendations of books that have a suspense plot and a romance slash literary fiction plot. I am interested to look into them. Like this video if you wanna, follow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!